Let me go ahead and get this out of the way first. Poll for the first annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. It's live. The link is in the description below. If you haven't placed your vote just yet, please click the link in the description below and go place your vote. It takes less than 5 seconds. Appreciate all of you guys that voted last night. Within the first couple of hours, we had over 500 votes that were placed. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised by the results so far. We'll see how it goes, but poll's going to be live until Friday, so go ahead and place your vote. All right. LeBron James, the self-proclaimed king, the chosen one, the object of Skip Bayless's devotion, the man who has given himself more nicknames than any other player in the history of the NBA. I've always thought nicknames were supposed to be given to you by other people. For example, one of my good friends, he's bald. We call him Curly. As a child, when I wasn't getting along with my mother for whatever reason, I would call her Moose just to piss her off. 30 years later, she's grown fond of the nickname, and now all of her grandchildren call her Moose. That's how nicknames are supposed to work. They are supposed to be given to you by other people. Not with LeBron James, though. No. LeBron decided that he would describe himself, King James, the chosen one. It would not surprise me if LeBron James thinks of himself as some kind of a deity. Me personally, my favorite nickname that LeBron gave himself is Bron. Sounds like a character from Sesame Street. The legacy of LeBron James. It is going to be one of the biggest debates over the next few years as he retires from the NBA. Putting all of the political bullshit to the side, what LeBron James is doing at 39 years old right now, it is absolutely unbelievable. I have always respected his game. I have always respected his dedication to the NBA. Most nights, LeBron James, he looks like the youngest guy on the floor at 39 years old. There should be no debating his legacy. Legacies of great players shouldn't be up for debate. We don't debate the legacy of Michael Jordan. We don't debate the legacy of Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Of course, I always have to include my favorite NFL player, Drew Brees. Legacies, they should not be up for debate. But the legacy of LeBron James, it will always be debated because he allowed himself to be marketed as a political activist instead of an all-time great in the NBA. When you associate yourself with Woke United Methodist, when you spend your time preaching the good word and spreading the good faith, something like what happened over the weekend with LeBron James, an incident that might seem minor, especially to parishioners of Woke United Methodist, that seemingly minor incident, it has a tendency to become magnified. It's one of those situations where your reputation precedes you. No different than what happened last night with Draymond Green. We might get into that later this afternoon. But before we get into what happened this past weekend, let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends over at All Strokes Matter. All Strokes Matter. A while back, I had a woman reach out to me asking where she could buy her husband clothes that were made by Americans for Americans. She didn't want to support woke clothing brands anymore, but she wanted high quality clothing for her husband. Now, obviously, I don't know shit about fashion, but I do happen to know the best brand of American-made clothes, my friends over at All Strokes Matter. For all my golfers out there, All Strokes Matter, they just released this new line of polo-style shirts. Of course, my personal favorites are their long-sleeve tees. For all my ladies out there, All Strokes Matter, they also offer unisex jackets and hoodies that will keep you warm throughout the winter. All Strokes Matter has plenty of options if you're looking for ideas for the men in your family for Christmas. And if you can't decide what they would like, just buy them a gift card, let them decide for themselves. Unlike the organization Black Lives Matter, All Strokes Matter, they actually care about our country. These are American employees making American clothes with American materials for American men and women. Yes, their prices are a bit higher than clothes made in foreign sweatshops, but you can't have it both ways. You can't say that you want to support American brands, American companies, and then complain about American prices. Click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTLFans30. That's BTLFANS30. Receive 30% off your first purchase of $25 or more with All Strokes Matter. This past weekend, Bronny James made his collegiate debut at USC in a home game against Long Beach State. LeBron James, being the active and present present father that he is, he had front row seats to watch his son play. That is another thing that I'll never take away from LeBron. In my opinion, this is something that's also not up for debate. Dude seems like an excellent father. There's a lot of professional athletes. Hell, there's a lot of dudes in general that we can't say that same thing about. But this should have been a redemption story for Bronny James. Several months ago, the young man had a heart attack. I think it was during practice. I mean, that's a scary situation for anyone, especially a kid that's only 19 years old. Bronny James, though, he fully recovered, played 17 minutes against Long Beach State. Now, even though he didn't have a good game, the story coming out of USC's loss to Long Beach State, that story should have been the recovery and the redemption of Bronny James. Instead, the only thing that anyone in the media is talking about is the father who has never met a camera that he didn't fall in love with. Even though they are in the heart of Los Angeles and the wokest state in the country, California, USC still plays the national anthem before sporting events. As the anthem is playing this weekend, everyone in the arena, they're on their feet. Players are standing, coaches are standing, fans are standing. What is LeBron James doing? Watch for yourself.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
Could you not have picked a more appropriate time to make your entrance into the arena? I mean, the start times for these games, they're pretty much set in stone. For example, my Pelicans play at 6 tonight, which means game's going to start between 6:12 and 6:15. It's not like there is some mystery surrounding the start times for basketball games. If LeBron James defends himself, I already know what he's going to say. I chose to be seated during the national anthem so I wouldn't be a distraction. If you didn't want to be a distraction, you would be sitting in box seats. You would be sitting in a secure area where fans and TV cameras would not be able to notice you. What does LeBron James do? He sits right in the front row where every fucking person in America will be able to see him on television. Bronny goes up for a three, there's his dad sitting in the background. Bronny shoots a free throw, there's his dad scarfing down the grilled wiener in the background. The bigger point of contention, though, with most people, it is LeBron James sitting on his ass during the playing of the national anthem. You know, several years ago, I was at a Pelicans game. I was sitting right behind Bobby Hebert, who is a legend in New Orleans. They play the national anthem. Most people are standing. Most people are being respectful. But there was two young dudes emulating LeBron James by sitting on their ass during the playing of the national anthem. As soon as it was over, Bobby Hebert, he tore into these kids. I mean, he made a scene, and rightfully so. He was offended that these two dumbasses had the audacity to disrespect the military by sitting during the national anthem. Now, if you were to put LeBron James in that same exact situation, he's going to be giving them high fives. Great job, fellas. That song is racist. We will only stand for the black national anthem. A guy named Luca Evans, he was responsible for filming this video of LeBron James sitting during the national anthem. According to his Twitter bio or his X bio. You know, I hate that name, X. It sounds like the description that the Star Trek virgin Mike Freeman gives his lightsaber when he breaks it while he's playing with himself. But according to his bio, Luca Evans, he covers USC athletics for the Orange County Register. He used to work at the LA Times, the same LA Times that has been donating woke welfare to Bill Plaschke for the last few decades. The same Bill Plaschke who is afraid of the word Chiefs. Please, please call them Guardians. Based on his resume and the area of the country that he chooses to live, I think it's pretty safe to say that Luca Evans ties 10% of his income to Woke United Methodist. After posting this video on social media over the weekend and the subsequent backlash that LeBron James received, Luca Evans, he came to the defense of his Lord and risen King. Normal people are mischaracterizing this situation. LeBron James has been sitting for the national anthem for years. He enters during the playing of the national anthem so he doesn't cause a distraction. If LeBron didn't want to be a distraction, why does he choose to sit in the front row? If LeBron didn't want to be a distraction, why wouldn't he choose to sit anywhere else in the arena where the cameras aren't located? Like I said, LeBron James, he has never met a camera that he doesn't fall in love with. He chooses to sit in the front row so he will be noticed. But let's just assume for 1 second that Luka Evans is telling the truth here. When attending his son's games, LeBron chooses to enter during the playing of the national anthem and he soothes his bruised caboose by sitting down. I have no reason to doubt Luka Evans besides the fact that he works in the media. I'm always skeptical of anyone who works in the media for obvious reasons, but let's just give him the benefit of the doubt here. Let's assume he's telling the truth. If LeBron James sitting during the national anthem is a common occurrence, if this happens with so much regularity, why would you film it and post it on social media? If you were driving down the road and you saw Fido and Garfield playing the butt bongo, you might film it, put it on social media, and it goes viral. It's not something that you see every day, a dog and a cat playing in the butt bongo band. On the second day you drive down that same road, you see it again. You put it on social media, the response isn't nearly as strong. By the third day, no one cares, no one notices. If LeBron James sitting during the national anthem is so common, if this happens at every game, why would Luka Evans choose to film this one occurrence and put it on social media? This kid's either naive or he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew this would generate millions of views. And if you're LeBron James, you got to know better. You have got to know how this was going to be perceived. My question is, was this intentional? With LeBron having a long history of kneeling for the national anthem in the past, does he even care how this was going to be perceived? This was not a protest. If LeBron James wanted to protest, he could have sat for the national anthem during the NBA in-season tournament where millions of people were watching. Outside of Los Angeles, no one gives a shit about USC basketball. Like I said, this was not a protest. The only way you can describe it is blatant disrespect from LeBron James. Blatant disrespect for the country, for the military, that gave him the opportunity to become a billionaire. But give me your thoughts on this. LeBron James sits during the national anthem. Was it intentional? Was he being disrespectful on purpose? Or do you buy into this excuse that LeBron James was trying to sneak into the arena so he didn't draw attention to himself? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.